Hello and welcome back to the Ernest Faison Show. Thank you so much for putting up with me again. I think that I have a wonderful, wonderful show. I have Mr. Don Wright, the Executive Director of the Buttonhole Golf Course. Don, thank you so much for being on.
Ernest, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Would you start just by telling the people under the sound of my voice how it was that this name Buttonhole was originated?
Sure. Buttonhole is located right on the Providence-Johnston line off of Route 6. And the Woonasquatucket River abuts our property, which is actually DEM, state DEM property.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the Industrial Revolution, a number of button factories were there. And as people tended to do back then, they dumped some of the waste product out into the river. And it kind of washed down the Woonasquatucket River and filled up a little basin right where the property is where we are today. And the local kids would go swimming in that basin and find the buttons, and hence they called it Buttonhole. Possibly urban legend, possibly true.
Wow, that's amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say right now, and I want you to make sure that you watch this show, Jack. Jack, thank you so much for putting this all together. I found out about your philanthropy, and I understand that kids are near and dear to your heart. Mr. Wright has disseminated this information to me. Why don't you touch on that just a tad?
Sure. Jack has been a wonderful board member since day one, which is like 23 years ago. He was approached by Ed Morrow, the founder and visionary of Buttonhole.
Okay. If I may hold this up.
Who's there in a photo with Brad Faxon and his daughter and
the great Brad Faxon.
One of our two honorary co-chairs, along with Billy Andrade. So Mr. Morrow, a very successful business person who had businesses right here in Providence, as well as a really fine golfer, won the state amateur in 1968, wanted to give back to golf.
Okay.
And he came up with the idea, after talking to a number of people, give back to, especially to youth, to get them involved into golf, and especially underprivileged youth, maybe city youth especially, who wouldn't normally get the chance to play golf because of affordability and accessibility. And hence, we got this 26-acre site right there in Providence and turned it into Buttonhole.
Which is amazing. You told me what the site used to look like, and I'm sure you have some photos to back up. Amazing. This used to be what type?
It was an old gravel pit.
Gravel pit. Wow.
26 acres that abuts the Woonasquatucket River, and it's DEM property.
We'll show these things later on, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's an amazing story where Mr. Morrow, along with Mr. Clegg and other Stanley Goldstein, from one of the founders of CVS, got together, and they raised, through golfers and other corporations locally, raised $3 million or more to build this beautiful facility that we have right now. And here's just.
And from there, we have a finished product.
Which we have a full driving range.
Beautiful.
Two-ended driving range, which is great for the public as well as for the kids. And then a beautiful golf course. A beautiful 9-hole short par 3 golf course.
That is amazing. From a gravel pit to 9 holes. I understand the total amount of yards? I want to make sure I get my words proper. Is 1,000?
It's a 1,000-yard golf course. The longest hole is 142 yards.
Right.
And so it's great for people who are beginning the game. You know, from 5 or 6-year-old kids who are, maybe not hitting the ball very far, or seniors who are playing there, just coming to have a nice little walk. And
that's beautiful. Awesome. That's beautiful. And you have your original graduates in what, 2001 or
2001. These are 2 photos from some of the kids.
Now, I definitely must hold these up.
From the Boys and Girls Club.
Definitely must get pictures of these here.
When the Providence Boys and Girls Club had a branch in Olneyville.
This is the first female?
Yes.
Wow.
And they actually had a professional photo shoot where the kids got outfits.
And this would be the first young man?
Yes. So they're now in their...
So are they on tour now?
He's probably in his mid-30s.
He's in his mid-30s now.
Exactly.
Wow.
And
I know his parents got to be proud of him.
And it's wonderful because sometimes we have parents or the kids come back and they say, oh yeah, I was a Buttonhole kid. And now, we had one of our first Buttonhole kids come through, and he served 20 years in the Navy, just finished up 20 years in the Navy, is living down in Virginia, and retiring from the Navy and going into private business now. It's a great story, and he still remembers day one at Buttonhole.
That's a great story. That got to make you feel old. One of the two.
A little bit, because I was at Buttonhole actually when we first started, and then I went off and did
Right.
something else for a while and have been back for 7 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching PEG RITV, the Ernest Faison Show. I'm so excited to do this show. I have the executive director of Buttonhole Golf Course. This would be Mr. Don Wright. He would be the man to be able to tell us all of the folklore and urban legends. And he said he's got a few Pink Floyd stories for me too. We'll do that at another time.
Exactly.
But Brad Faxon.
Yeah, we're
and-
very, very fortunate to have Billy Andrade and Brad Faxon as our honorary co-chairs.
Right.
And they've been so instrumental. They're so worldwide known in golf. Brad known as one of the greatest putters of all time.
Yes,
and
he
Billy,
is. Yes,
a
he
great competitor. They both won PGA Tour events, competed on the Ryder Cup team, and they give back both from their own charities that they have, the Brad Faxon Children's Charities, Andrade and Faxon Charities, as well as through the CVS Charity Classic. They give back to us and really help support us.
You know, you've spurned a lot of interest here because we do have a pretty nice little following. Can you please tell the people about what are the operating hours at Buttonhole?
Sure. So during the summertime and the light, we're open from 8 in the morning till basically till sunset. And we're open to the public both for the driving range and the golf course. So 8 in the morning until sunset every day. The programs that we run for the kids, we run those throughout the spring, the summer, and the fall. And we've been booked up solidly all year, which has been wonderful.
That's outstanding. And I understand that you had a challenge because you had a fire or something.
Yes.
That almost kind of ruined your day there for a moment.
Most definitely. March 11th, I'll remember it like I'll always remember it. March 11th, we had an accidental fire right that really took the clubhouse. It's a cinder block clubhouse. Took the roof down or took the roof out, and so we were out of the building from March of last year until December. But we operated out of trailers and didn't miss a beat.
Wow.
We're very fortunate, and
And
we had good insurance.
Oh, that's it. Well, good insurance.
Which helped.
Yeah, that's also good. And you told me you got a wonderful Tiger Woods story.
Oh, I do, kind of a little bit. So back in 1995, when Tiger was playing at Newport Country Club in the U.S. Amateur, which he ended up winning his second title, on the last day, I was involved. This is prior to Buttonhole, and on the last day, Tiger was going down to the driving range. I was volunteering to help out at a food station, and I was driving a cart down to get some stuff near the driving range. So Tiger jumped on the back of the golf cart, and he's holding on like he's water skiing, because I had stuff in the front seat, and it's down the hill and around, and all the people in the USGA, all the blue suits, all the blue jacketed guys, they're like petrified because Tiger, and I even go to Tiger, hold on tight, he goes, yeah, that wouldn't be good if I fell off today, would it? And right then I knew that he was so present in the moment, and he ended up winning the match. That was the final day of the match. So I've always been a huge Tiger fan.
And that was 1995?
1995. Then he went on to win another amateur the next year, and then he turned pro in 97, or at the end of 96, and he won the Masters in April of 97. And it's been
So being
unbelievable.
the executive director of this wonderful golf course, which identifies with, by the way, minorities and people who look like me. You want to expound on that?
Sure.
You can touch on that even better than I can.
Yeah, so the mission really is to make golf affordable and accessible, and especially available to local youth, especially in the Providence area, with like 17,000 school-age kids in Providence, and a significant percentage of them are kind of on the borderline poverty level and on lunch programs, to really make those programs available for those kids, which is what our mission is. And in 21 years now, we've had over 25,000 kids go through our golf programs, which I'll explain a little bit later. And
Outstanding.
it's probably 70% of those kids have received scholarships, both from equipment as well as the instructional programs that we do.
And if you're handicapped, you also have something for those people as well.
Yes, the course about 6 or 7 years ago was kind of reconfigured a little bit, is totally fully handicap accessible. So wheelchairs, and we actually have, I'll show some pictures of those, wheelchair accessible devices.
Sure.
We had a recent July 19th
Oh,
partnering up
this
with
is the one. This is the
partnering
one.
up
This
with
gentleman is a veteran.
the
isn't
woman's
he?
a veteran, yes. Yes, she lost her leg. She served when she was in her early 20s.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. How fascinating is that?
Hadn't played golf in over 20 years. Started swinging, so it's a special golf cart, which has it's a wheelchair, but it also has a lift seat. So
That's incredible.
some people haven't been able to stand up. Allows them to stand up and make more of a regular swing.
That is outstanding.
and we have access to 2 of those. So we do programs for veterans, we do programs for disabled kids, and then it's available if anybody really needs that kind of a cart. We can show them how to use it, and they can come and use it.
And the longest, I guess, course, if you're doing the driving range, is
Yes.
how long? 145 yards?
So
What
on the course, the longest hole is 142 yards.
142 yards.
And the driving range, it's a full driving range, so it's over 300 yards from end to end. So you can hit full shots there. And we have a grass area as well as hitting off the mats.
That is so cool. Now what is this photo?
So I have some photos of the golf course
Wonderful,
itself.
wonderful
That's
shots
a
here you brought.
shot from last fall.
Nice, very nice. Mr. Holly, what's our time looking like there, sir?
We got about maybe 3 or 4 more minutes before halftime.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And then
Appreciate
here's
that.
a photo, an aerial photo of the
Oh,
driving
you got an
range.
aerial photo.
From a drone
that's
photo.
kind of from a drone?
Yes.
Outstanding. That is outstanding,
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
it's a very nice, it's a great facility. And actually, one of the things what's great is when the kids come in. So we do a lot of work, we're really into partnering with Boys and Girls Club, the Boys and Girls Club of Providence, Providence Recreation Center. Mike Stevens over there does a great job. All the branches, we had all the branches from the rec centers come this summer. Providence Boys and Girls Club, the Manton branch, the Hartford Avenue branch, they came this summer. And the Pawtucket Boys and Girls Club, Tides organization. And this is we've had a long-term relationship, partnership with the San Miguel School. So
Okay.
the middle school there with the 5th through 8th graders, they do a wonderful job. They have mentors for all the kids. And we do golf in the spring and the fall for them.
You know what I like about this? This is
Yes.
representative of the human race. You got black people, you got white people, you got Asian people, you got Native American
Exactly.
people. And that's why I'm so glad that you're on the show. You know what? And that's
you.
amazing, for sure. It's
Thank
a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
You know?
One quick story
because
about...
you know that golf was always a good old boy network.
Absolutely.
And then Tiger came in and ripped it off of his hinges,
Yes.
and it's never been the same since. Your story.
So my story from one of the San Miguel kids about 5 or 6 years ago. He was just starting. He was going to be an incoming 5th grader. We had a little summer program for him. And he was a little guy. And I'm helping him. Never touched a golf club before, never seen a golf course. So he was struggling at first. He's trying to hit the ball, he's struggling. When hang in there. So that's one of the things we teach life lessons too.
Sure.
How to deal, the frustrations, perseverance, integrity, those kinds of life values and life lessons, which are really important. So all of a sudden, he finally hits a couple good ones, and I'm smiling. He looks up at me. He's smiling so much. He goes, "This is the best day of my life." And I know that just gives me an unbelievable feeling, and I know that all the supporters that we have making this possible for all these kids, it makes getting up and going to work very easy each day.
That's right. You are watching PEG RITV, the Ernest Faison Show. I float like a butterfly and I sting like a bee. I got Mr. Don Wright on, Buttonhole Executive Director. He's telling us not only are the kids able to play golf, but he told me there was a 5th grader who actually learned a life lesson and said this was the best day of my life. This kid will never be the same.
That's the part that's really fun. And actually, the San Miguel guys are great because they come back every year. So they're 5th through 8th grade. And actually, I got a message from them today that they're going to be starting up again in 2 weeks, which is wonderful.
Wow.
So
is this San Miguel too?
it is from a couple years ago. So we have a set of clubs for each one of them. So they also learn responsibility. They're accountable for taking care of their equipment.
Being meticulous.
Exactly.
Punctuality.
Exactly. Make sure you start with 5 clubs, you end with 5 clubs.
Right.
You've got golf balls in your bag, be prepared, all of those types of things. And a lot of people don't realize that golf is also incredibly social. And it's a little different with COVID now because it used to be, you take your hat, if you're a guy, you take your hat off, you shake your hand.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. My name is Don Wright. Great to look forward to playing. After the round, whatever happens, take your hat off, look the person in the eye, shake their hand, and say,
Like
"Thanks
I'm from
for
the
game."
South, we say, "How do you do, man?"
Exactly. That works too. That works
Yeah,
too. So
yeah.
those kinds of, just civility and the social aspect.
So
is
what
really
I'm
huge.
hearing from you, Don, is that you teach these kids life skills.
Life lesson. Our motto is a lesson in golf, a lesson in life.
I love it.
And those types of things. There's core values like integrity, perseverance, sportsmanship, courtesy, all of those types of things that golf is a great sport. And golf's one of the only sports, if not the only sport, where it's really self-policing. You're your own referee. If you have to count, the kids love that. We get them putting short putts. They go, "Oh, that's easy, putt from a foot away." And they miss it. They go, "Oh," and I go, "That counts as one." It's the same thing as one that's 100 yards long.
Speaking about putting, what is so special about the Masters Amen Corner? What is it? Wing foot and
Oh,
I got a little etiquette.
There we go.
What are we talking here now?
those courses, one is there in immaculate condition.
Right.
And
they tiger-proofed it. I know that.
you can't tiger-proof anything. I mean,
Right.
he just
Yeah, he
and
figures it
the
out.
pros are so good now. I
Right.
mean, they've been so good. And what Tiger did really is get people healthier.
He did.
And people were working out, and so you're seeing more and more really athletes playing the
That's
game
right.
now.
What? Kepka?
Brooks Koepka,
Yeah.
Dustin Johnson,
That's
all
right.
of those guys are just incredible athletes.
That's true. And Tiger, all of a sudden, speaking about that, Holly, that conversation we had, Fort Bragg there, the Navy SEALs and Special
Yes.
Forces, he almost quit golf to become a Navy SEAL, didn't he?
Exactly. His father was, I think his father
Green
was
Beret.
a Green Beret.
Yeah,
And that's how he
Earl.
got, that's
Earl
how he
was
got
something
the name
else, wasn't he?
Tiger. Exactly. And so he was training with the Rangers of the Green Beret.
That's
and
right.
he got really buffed. there for a
Actually,
while.
they're saying that that's probably why he blew out his knee, because too much torque and too much power.
He
You
ju-
got to be fluid, right?
Well, yes, and he pushed it to the limit. But then again, for 10 years, he was the best golfer, really, of all time.
Is it safe to say that when we look at Michael Jordan, well, Ali is my favorite. You
Yep.
see how I just clown around.
Right.
Was there any more of a dominance for 10 years than Tiger? Because Michael played with 4 other people.
Yep.
Tiger played by himself.
Yes, I think I agree. I think we've lived in an age where we've seen some great ones. Personally, I'm also a huge Bill Russell fan.
Well,
I grew
yeah.
up
Okay.
Bill Russell.
All right,
I mean,
now.
he's still, when we have that argument, who's the greatest basketball player of all time, everybody goes MJ, which unbelievable. But I'm still a
MJ
Bill
can't do
Russell.
like this though. Title.
Exactly. He
He can only do like that. Yeah, so I'm with
Yep,
you on that. I
exactly.
don't know, man. Yeah.
We could
You
have that
say
argument all the
tomatoes,
time.
I say
Exactly.
tomatoes. You
Love
know?
them both. Love them
Yeah,
both.
I like the fact that, like what you said though, you're teaching these kids life lessons. It's incredible, and I know the parents they've got to love and honor what you guys are doing here, because you're taking some of these inner city kids,
Yes.
which is huge.
Yes.
You're getting the kids out of the hood, for
Exactly.
lack of better terminology.
Yes. And it's great because we have a couple kids and currently have one of the students at Classical High School who works for us. He was a Buttonhole kid.
Okay.
We had another kid, very local kid, who came up through the local school, Del Sesto Middle School, which is right around the corner on Hartford Avenue. Started going through the golf program, and then he worked for us for a bunch of years. He's going to college. He's actually has a kind of a full-time job in landscaping.
Right.
He's actually doing a little part-time work for us again. So there's a number of those great stories and we're really engaging the local community even more so in the neighborhoods. Our vision is to have kids in the neighborhood from Hartford and Manton, all of those areas, just walking down the street, having golf clubs over their shoulder, coming in, meeting each other to play around the golf,
That's
having
right.
tournaments and
And
practicing.
what's the guy who used to be the executive director? Hootie from
Oh,
where is
yes.
that?
From the Augusta National.
From Augusta. It's
Yes.
not him anymore, is it?
No. I forget who it is now.
When are they going to start letting women play in the Masters?
They have
Speaking about golf.
Yeah, the week before now, they have an amateur tournament, a women's amateur tournament that they get to play at Augusta. So they've started that a couple years ago.
I think Nancy Lopez back in her day could have played. And Anna Storstrom.
Yeah,
Anna
there's-
Storstrom.
There-
Could they have played?
Annika played.
Annika, I butchered her name. I'm sorry,
that's
Annika.
okay. She played in 1 or 2 pro events. She played in 1 pro event. She almost made the cut. Michelle Wee played at a couple pro events.
Michelle. I remember when she was
played
13.
in the Hawaiian Open. She's
Hawaiian,
from
yeah.
Hawaii.
Right.
It's still pretty rare, I think, if a woman could actually make a cut in a PGA event.
Is it safe to say that's still part of the Good Old Boy Network?
I think in that
Or are you
case,
saying
I
physically
think
they're not
physically,
strong enough to?
Well, I think there's a distance issue. I mean, pros like Tiger and Dustin Johnson, they're hitting the ball over 300 yards
what,
consistently.
DeChambeau, or whatever
All of
his name
those
is?
guys, it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy
it-
how far. I mean, there are a few women who can hit the ball 270, maybe once in a while get one way out there, but consistently, that's a big difference.
That's going to be the
But actually, for all of it, for the regular amateur golfer, it's great to watch the women play because their tempos are great.
yeah.
It's probably much more relatable than the guys.
And
you
it's
see on
easier on
TV.
the eyes, too.
I'm not going there.
Yeah, but for real, though,
Yes.
I get what you mean.
Yep.
It's a physical issue, though.
Yes, but
That's
we
what
have
you're saying.
we're part of the big drive, chip, and putt contest,
Oh.
which is an annual event that goes on run by the PGA Tour, or the PGA of America and the USGA, United States Golf Association. It started a few years ago. It's kind of like it's like pass, kick, and punt
Yeah,
that they used to have.
with the football.
And they have a baseball
Do you
equivalent.
remember
of that,
Andy
too.
Reid?
Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah.
it was like this has got to be a grown man. Andy was like 280, 13 years old. Remember that?
That's right. Yes, there
I
have
was
been a
like,
couple
man,
guys
this
who
is
made
very,
it.
very strange.
Yes.
Let me put this water down.
So
What's up?
every spring we have 150 kids compete. We're the first stage. It's a national competition, and so they compete. They in the top 3 in each age category, boys and girls. You know, they have different categories from like 9 years old to 15. Advance, and then after 3 or 4 stages, then the top 10 kids in each group get to go to Augusta National and compete the week before the Masters.
Nice. So Don, you told me how you got here, where you at now.
Yep.
I need to know where you're going with this now.
Yes. So where we're going,
Your vision.
Our vision is to continue to grow and expand. You know, working with all the Boys and Girls Clubs in the area, working with the schools, working with Providence After School Alliance, working with other kinds of youth organizations. We'll partner up, so if there's some group that we haven't gotten to, and as I said, to really get the neighborhood kids coming out in droves to play the game. We have a teacher, the Achievement First School's right around the corner, and the kids now, he introduced golf to them, and he was a part-time instructor in the summer. So now when he says, well, anybody want to play hoops? No, let's play golf, which is really,
I just
that's
had
very
an
cool.
excellent gentleman in the track and field industry, Mr. Tom Spann, on. He's been with Hope for over 40 years, even with my camera guy here, Holly. I think it's safe to say that we definitely will be reaching out to him so that he can bridge that gap and connect the dots with Buttonhole, because this sounds like a marriage that definitely needs to happen.
That would be great, and that's why it's so much fun with like the Boys and Girls Club of Providence and Pawtucket and Providence Rec Centers, and just getting those kids out. It's great.
Right. When I was living in Hawaii, I was on vacation there on the other side of the island. I hit a golf ball so hard because you got the water that way,
right,
and then we would nestle here and there, the cool hour, the big mountains. I hit a golf ball. It's still going. I know I cracked it, man. It was over 300 yards.
Probably got it on the satellite.
Right. You might hear 4, but
That might be a 5, maybe a
5,
6.
6, and everything like that. Yeah, Mr. Clegg, this is near and dear to his heart.
Yes.
So you want to go ahead and just share some of the visions that he has through you. I guess you living vicariously somewhat.
Yes, I mean, we're really fortunate. We have a wonderful board. It's growing in diversity. Actually, one of our board members is Kay Bullock, who works at Classical High School. She's
Okay.
also the golf coach there. So she's introducing a lot of younger, new kids to the game of golf. They wouldn't be there. One of the supporters of the school got equipment for all the kids. They have a nice set of Titleist clubs, and they compete now. We're actually looking to possibly start a golf program for Central or Hope High School to have a golf team as well, to kind of organize that and help that out with our golf pro, Shane Drury.
Nice. The gentleman, Jerry
Morgan.
Yeah, wanted
Coach
to get
Morgan,
him in there.
Legend in Providence.
Shout out to Mr. Morgan.
Absolutely. Jerry was with us from day one, coached for about 17 years, working with the kids, loved to do it. He's in the High School Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. He was a Providence steamroller, loves golf, loves to talk golf. And that's the kind of thing. So we have some men instructors, we have women instructors, we have a number of high school kids, some college kids helping out. So the kids that come to our programs get a lot of individual instruction. We have equipment for them to use. They have access to the course. Our normal golf program is 6 1.5-hour lessons in a small group. Once they complete that course, they become what we call a buttonhole kid. So from the time they're 7 years old till they're 17, they can come back and play for $1 or hit a bucket of balls for $1.
Oh, nice.
And we keep track of them, and it's great. And there's a number of kids who over the years have gone on to play college golf and get college scholarships and things like that. One of the best ones was Juliet Von Pumi, a local Providence student and her family. Got into golf really early, met Brad Faxon at one of our Brad Faxon clinic days. Fast forward, she ended up going to the University of Maryland, was a 4-time all-division golfer, had a full ride at the University of Maryland playing golf, and got an education out of it. She went to LaSalle High School.
When I spoke with Mr. Clegg, and he told me about what we were going to do, and he told me that it was, concentrating on inner city kids.
Yes.
Obviously, oh, by the way, it just so happened to look like a person like me and other different kinds of people, man. What a blessing. And I couldn't wait to do it because kids get more involved when they see somebody who look like them.
Yes.
So that's why I want to give a shout out right now to Lee Elder,
Sure.
the people who came before me. Because Nat King Cole, by the way, was the first African American to ever do a TV show, by the way.
Ah,
And it's because of that, and that's probably why I'm able to do this. And also Calvin Peete,
yes.
and of course the great Tiger Wood.
And Charles Sifford.
We're all inclusive.
Yes.
But we got to give credit where credit's due. That's why you watching Ernest Faces show with my man, Mr. Don Wright. He is spreading some wisdom, spitting truth, as the kids would say.
There we
you
go.
get some ebonics. I know you be getting them little catchphrases
Oh,
sometimes.
absolutely.
Because you gave me one. You gave me one about the urban legend with the button.
Yep, that's right.
Right. So, Mr. Wright, we got about another 2 minutes, another minute to go. And 140 characters or less. You can look right into that camera right there and disseminate the information that you want to by the reason why you're on the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me on and having a chance to share the Buttonhole story. And Buttonhole is it's really what's going on in America and in the world today. And we've, I think, been way on the forefront about making things affordable and accessible, and a lesson in golf, a lesson in life. As you can see from the pictures, we are all about diversity, and we are all about giving people access and opportunity to something that they maybe never had a chance to do. And we've got great instructors that are willing and spend extra time to teach the game of golf and the life lessons. And we've got great supporters, individuals, local companies, local foundations who are really helping us out. And we're very fortunate that it's really a community. It's a really community effort. And to make an old gravel pit into a beautiful green space.
Outstanding. It's been fun. Wow, where'd the time go?
A half hour?
It's
That
been
was it?
fun, but we got to run. I think I called him my brother, because if he's a friend of Mr. Clay, he's a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed this. We've got wheelchair access for veterans. God bless you until next time. Take care of yourself. Wow.
Thank you.